Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large small block ship that's all been fully fitted out with the AI blocks so you can automatically go out and attack nearby pirates if that's what you want it to do. So this thing is called the Private Jet Aerospike, which is this glorious thing that I'm currently standing on. So this is a hydrogen-only ship, features 4 autocannons to blast your enemies with. We have a very streamlined interior featuring all the basics you need for survival mode. It's capable of flying on a planet. It's fairly quick in space. The only thing it can't do is cause use jump drive because it's not present on the ship. So pressing F10 to find this in the spawn menu, the Private Jet is 2,367 small blocks, using the Wasteland, Sparks of the Future, Deck Block number 3, Automatons Warfare 1 and Heavy Industry DLC pack. At the top of the Steam Workshop page, we got a little bit of information behind the ship, but it's more an advertisement for you to go and buy the ship for space credits, where it's just over 3.8 million, which is rather expensive for a ship. But anyway, at the bottom here we've got dimensions of the ship, and it says here that it's ready for modifications and upgrades depending on what you want to do with it. So go and give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, then go drive around for a bit, maybe find some space pirates and, well, try it in combat. If not, we'll slam straight into them, and that'll be that. And of course there will be a link to the skybox I'm currently using in the description below. I believe it is just called BlackHole Skybox, and it's a rather nice one. Big black hole in the background, and some nice colours all the way around. But anyway, for the ship itself, this is what we get at the very front, and that's a camera sitting behind a window so we can get a good view of what's going on ahead of us. If we were to move slightly up here, we'll see some windows where we can peer inside and see a standard cockpit to drive this thing around. Having a double cockpit with windows in front is a very good idea, especially if you're going head on into combat, so it means you do have additional protection that will make you last a bit longer. If we were to move around onto the side that has the sunlight, here we go. So this is all we can see, a bunch of magnetic plates below the bottom, a fin made out of our lovely greedy yellow block. Over here is 1 or 4 autocannons to blast enemies with, and we do have a bunch of windows going all the way along, which is going to be our main corridor, which is the interior. As we come along, that's where I'm standing next to a large hydrogen thruster, more magnetic plates below the wing. Then over this station, a small hydrogen thruster to help on our left and right, another autocannon which is sitting on top of a large hydrogen tank to make sure you've got a nice lot of fuel when driving this thing around. Around towards the very back of this thing, here we go, we see some more large hydrogen thrusters and a couple of small ones which will give us a nice bit of speed. Putting my light on so we get a good view of what's going on here. There we are. We can see we've got 2 red spotlights that should glow nicely in the dark. If we were to move all the way up and look down this thing, we see our lovely yellow greeny block which is covering the very tops of our hydrogen tanks, giving them a bit of protection, also leaving them a little bit exposed so you can repair it up if it did take damage in combat. There's some more small hydrogen thrusters to help move us down. As we were to move all the way along the main body, even more small hydrogen thrusters, and go along towards the front there. There we are, we see our turret on the opposite side, and there is a doorway to get in and out. This ship only has one doorway, so there's no airlock on there, but it does have a locking feature on the inside so you can't accidentally open it up if you are in the oxygenless zone. Moving towards the front, there we are, coming all the way down underneath this thing, so past our camera, there's our magnetic plates all stacked together neatly. There's our guns from the bottom, along over to here, there's our connector to dock this thing up, some more strips of magnetic plates, more hydrogen thrusters, and there's the back of the ship where we can see the bottom where our large hydrogen tanks are sitting. And there we go with the outside. So it's got a very simple design overall with it. We've got some turrets for a bit of defense, some hydrogen thrusters which are good for both being in space and on a planet, and we've got some fantastic work of our blocks, which is giving it that overall great design, especially at the back of our hydrogen tanks. That makes it look bloody glorious, especially from a distance when looking at it like so. But now what I do is just grab hold of my character because it's time to go on the inside and see what's going on with this. So moving all the way up to that doorway right over here, we now just go and click this, open it up, and we just drop all the way down. The first thing we want to do is now just walk around over to this section where we've still got an LCD screen pointing over to here. We can see it says it's close the door and to lock it. So after a short delay, then get an audio sound, and that is now fully turned off, can no longer open up so you can't accidentally lose any oxygen. Going all the way along to here, we've got a bunch of LCD screens with nothing set up on them, so if you did want to add some more images on here yourself, or anything you can think of, you can do so. Then turn around to the opposite side, we see a bunch of conveyors, and a bunch of conveyor captures covering them all up and making them look nice and neat. There's our windows here outside, for us to crouch and walk along towards the back, a little seat for your passenger, there's an air vent to make sure you don't suffocate, some nice access panels to open up and play around with, there we are with that one. Towards the back there's our survival kit, there's a hydrogen engine, once again with an access panel on the front there, and then just below it, a exhaust block, purely there for some decoration. Now what we can do is just turn around and look towards the front. There we are, we've got some lights on there so it's not too dark on the inside. Walking all the way past this, Behind these piston heads, we've got then our AI blocks, make it move around and, well, become aggressive when it sees an enemy. Over to the opposite side, we then got some weapon lockers to store guns and ammunition inside. Then at the very front, behind this access panel, we then got a cockpit to get inside. That's actually a very novel way of doing it. Didn't actually think about using this, but it does work very well just to hide access to the cockpit. But anyway, just open that up, hop on the inside, first person view, this is all we can see. So as you can see, we've got a cockpit, the windows in front of us, nice and protected up. And bring up the HUD, got a few controls to go through. So on tab number 1, we then got controls for our connector below the ship to lock and unlock it. Then got number 2 for our camera at the very front, making you get a good view of what's going on. Number 3 is for our hydrogen engine, turn that on and off. Number 4 is for your O2HU generator, turn that on and off. Number 5 is then for your batteries to auto recharge. Number 6 is for your gyroscopes, in case you don't want to move around with your mouse. And then we've got number 7 for your hydrogen thrusters all around the ship, turn them on and off. Your hydrogen tanks and stockpile on and off. Over to tab number 2, we then got our magnetic plates to lock and unlock them, turn them on and off. Our antenna, beacon, or detector, turn them on and off. So yes, we can go out and about scout for all patches. If you do want to say, stroll around on a planet just looking for some precious resources that you're after, or just pull up to an asteroid and see what it has to offer. The last 2 controls are then for your lights, which are going to be for the ones at the back, and the ones all the way around the ship, so we see them clearly turning on and off. So moving forwards, this is what we get. And as you can see, we're not actually too fast at the end of the day. Despite having 2 large hydrogen thrusters and a couple small ones, we're not just shooting away like some ships tend to do, we do have a fairly big build-up to get to 100 meters per second. Then coming to a stop, we are basically the same, so there's no point in doing a 180 because, well, we're going to stop in about the same amount of time. Moving left, and moving right, we've got a surprising amount of speed with that. It feels very much like forwards and backwards. Moving down is going to be helped by gravity because we are just in the Earth-like planet's gravity fields. Then moving up, there we are, we've still got a nice lot of speed, which is going to be fantastic for being on any old planet. Then as for gyroscope controls, moving this thing around, got a nice big control over here, a tiny bit of weight so it's not too completely floaty and uncontrollable, and certainly suits this size of ship. So as for that, that's pretty much it for what this ship has to offer and what it can do. So the final thing to do is come down to that headquarters, which is 33.2 kilometers away, and test it out. And here we go, we're now getting within range. We do have to get a bit closer, so we are using small turrets. And there we go, the autoguns have opened fire. Here comes all of their rockets, they're going for the nose of the ship, just trying to dodge it as much as I can. I'm actually doing a fantastic job of dodging all those missiles. But here they come, they're now pummeling into the main body. We lost a few thrusters, there goes our hydrogen tanks, thrusters have turned off. We're now falling down to the ground, I can no longer control this. And we're going to have to hope that we do glide out of their range, if not we will be a sitting duck, and we'll lose the entire ship. But looking around at what's going on there, we're actually doing a very good job at surviving. It seems like all of the guns went for the back of the ship, so our cockpit is still in one piece. And there we are. Well, actually it looks like we do have some thrusters still available underneath the ship, so we can just about maybe glide this along the ground, drag its body along the ground, back towards the pirate outpost, and try it one more time. And this is what it looks like in a first-person view. It's a very odd thing to drive, it's very much like a land vehicle, but we are having a lot of problems actually trying to move this along, so we're going to have to snake this along and hopefully not damage the ship any further. In fact, I might even need to do this, and we'll just do a bunch of backflips until we eventually get all the way over to it, which I'm not too sure how it's going to go, but there we go. Our autocannons have started to engage once again, flipping it over once more. Here we go, all the way round, and hopefully this will work. Down we come, and it looks like I've now just flipped it all the way over, and we're just a sitting duck. But I'm going to try it one more time. Can I actually flip this all the way over? Yes, I can. I believe so. Maybe not. I'm not too sure what's going on now. But here we go. That's a good try. Come on, you can do this. There we are. We're now self-righted. And, well, we can't really move anymore. So that ends this ship and ends this video. So yes, the Private Jet Aerospike is a lovely ship to use in your world. If you want to have something very fancy, it's easy to upgrade with anything you want. Strap some railguns on here. Strap some, well, whatever you want on here. Decorate the interior. And, well, flesh it out with whatever you need. There'll be a link to a description below to download and play around yourself. I highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.